All right, so we've got the pack together. We're finally up to the part that everyone's been waiting for. Are you ready? Move that ecto!
The light is green, the craft is clean.
Welcome back to the containment unit. Let's get started on electronics.
Switch me on.
I'm up to my third version of the electronics. I'm going to start with the first and work my way through because they do get progressively more difficult. So we're going to start at the beginning and show you the easiest way to do this. This is the original electronics that came with the Spirit pack. It had the 2 cyclotron lights on it, and then it had 2 additional ones. I'm not using them anymore. I wanted a ring instead. However, what I did is I took the black and the gray wires and ran them to a button on my wand. So this turns on the 2 cyclotrons as well as the power cell. Here is the DC motor I showed how to install in the first video. If you're still working on that, go back to that video. Negative just goes straight up to this battery pack. It is 2 AA's. Then the positive I cut and spliced into the blue and white wires. Those go up into the ion arm where I have a Phoebe switch installed. This switch I got from Finchmeister08 on Etsy. Very easy to install, relatively cheap, and even better is he's based in America. So if you're also based in America, I recommend buying from him because international shipping is a nightmare these days. My first idea for the electronics was actually fairy lights. I don't have it hooked up anymore, but I just wrapped them around that post that's holding in the DC motor. I'm going to cut back to some footage that I had a while ago. And see, it's not actually that bad. This was actually very simple, very easy, and very cheap. So if you're trying to keep the price down, I will link these down in the description, but let's go check out my second idea. So this is the Mark II. I added a light ring. I got the idea from someone on Facebook. They sent me a link and I ordered it. It was a couple bucks on TEMU. I hooked it up. It looks great. This is the version I actually took to Ghostbusters Day. So I do recommend it. This was very simple to install. I had to put a hole in the cake, but then I ran it through and I scanned this and it connects to an app on my phone. This was SP1103, so I just found that in the app and I can do all sorts of cool stuff with it. It hooks up to like a normal cell phone charger battery. So here's the light ring without the cake in the way. I'm gonna let you know right now, it does get much brighter. I have it turned way down. When it's all the way up, you can see it outside in the sunlight. So it does have a bunch of different versions, like 90 some different things you can do. I'm gonna cut to that real quick, show you some of the different ones I like. The only thing I really don't like about this is you have to control it with your cell phone. So I needed the Phoebe switch to turn on the cake, I needed my phone to turn on the lights, I needed the wand to turn on the pack, and the Mark III is actually gonna be all on one switch, and that's the reason I'm moving on from this ring. I've started taking things out of the original, the Mark I and the Mark II, and let me show you what I'm taking out so that it makes more sense when I show you what I'm putting back in as far as the Fruttotechnology parts. This was the original Spirit motherboard. I just put it in here to keep it safe. But this is coming out. These are the 2 wires that came off of the Spirit motherboard. The black and the gray, they are the power switch. They're coming out. I'm going to leave this wire in. It just doesn't go to anything. We'll see if I think of something later. All right, this comes out. What the heck? Oh, it's going to the speaker. Speaker comes out. It connects to this battery is coming out. Oh, and then I have to take out the power cell light. Let me do that real quick. All right, so that is all of the original Spirit electronics are gone. So here is the DC motor. I have it running to the power switch up here. This is the Phoebe switch. And then I have it running to the 2 AA's that I installed. Jeez. All right, so this is coming out. Well, I guess technically this is my first unboxing and review video. So, cool. So here is the no solder required, ultra bright Proton Pack, power cell, and cyclotron 21-inch mode, lights only kit. by Fruttotechnologies. So first off, I love the padding. Thank you. Thank you. I spent over $100 on this. Thank you for putting a little care into it. Awesome. I went a little smaller. I went for the smaller version because this one, the old one, was like the exact same size as the cake, and you could see it behind, and I just don't want that, so I went with the smaller one, so we'll see how it turns out. The power cell, looking nice. Pretty standard so far. Looking good. I did make sure to check the measurements before I ordered it. The screw holes aren't going to line up, but it is almost exactly the same size as the one in the Spirit Pack. So I don't have to worry about cutting anything. I'm probably just going to glue it in or maybe screw it. We'll see when we get there. Ooh. Oh no. Did I order? Did it ask if I wanted the 9-volt? I didn't want the 9. Hold on. All right, crisis averted. I read the instructions this time. All right, so it came with the 9-volt adapter. That's not what I'm going to use. I'm going to use this talent cell because I like them. And it took me a second to figure it out. There's actually a way. Hold on. All right, so I don't know how well this will show up on camera. Okay. Right here, it says 9-volt. That's where you put this 9-volt power. And then this switch here, you take out of here and you plug in here. And that's like, hey, use 9-volt side, right? But I have it in this so that I can use this USB-C. So it will totally work on a talent cell. So before I ordered this, I did contact the seller and I said, can I run this off a talent cell? And they said, yes, you can do 9-volt or talent cell. However, just make sure that you use the 5-volt side and not the 12-volt, because the 12 would be too much for this. But that's no problem. I just need a USB-C to USB connector, and I can use this talent cell. So I'm going to leave a link to this, and I'll definitely a link to this. Let's get connecting. Right, the battery's on, and then this says it is the on-off switch. Ooh. All right. Let's see what these do. I like that one. I might use that one. Cool. And then main power. Nice. That's pretty much exactly what I was hoping it would do. I didn't realize that the power cell changed color too, so that's awesome. One more little feature. So let's get installing this in the pack then. One thing I didn't like about the TEMU ring is I did have to put 2 holes in the pack. Not a big deal though. I'm actually just going to reuse one of the holes for this light ring. Then I'm going to hot glue it in. And then I'm going to take some gaffer tape and put it over top. It's not a perfect solution, but I already know that you can't really see it underneath the cake, so oh well. So I got this in. Just re-plug this in. I guess if you're doing it, do your hole more up here. I don't really need the space, but it's nice to have the extra wires. This doesn't have a screw hole in it, so I'm actually just going to hot glue it right here. Seems like a pretty solid place for it, just so that it doesn't go anywhere. All right, then the power cell. The power cell is pretty darn easy to do. So you see these 5 posts right here that we took out from the original power cell? You only need one of the screws. Put your screw in here, then screw this into the top post. It perfectly pressure fits itself exactly in place. So let me see if I can walk you through this bird's nest real quick. So here's the Fruttotechnology board running out to this 300 milliamp talent cell. This I'm not going to mount. I'm going to mount it on the back. My next video is going to be about how to attach a motherboard and a Alice frame to the back of this. So that's where I'm going to attach that. Little spoiler for next video, I made up this holster so that you can screw the talent cell onto the back of the motherboard. I'm getting into that one. I also made another one for a 600 milliamp, so whichever talent cell you have, it'll work, but we'll get into that in the next video. Coming off the board, this goes right to the cyclotron, this goes right to the power cell. Then there are these 2 buttons that come out here. Those are to change the color of the power cell or the cyclotron lights. So here's the DC motor, runs to 2 AA's, which then runs to this switch. Then I have 2 AA's running to this. I just took apart a flashlight. That's what this is. And then it runs to this switch here. The AA holsters are just hot glued on, and they do have covers, just so you don't have to worry about the batteries popping out while you're trooping. Okay, so that does it for the electronics. I know originally I wanted to get everything on one switch, and that did not happen, but I kind of really like the way it turned out. I like that now these switches are functional. So I would love to get sound in there. I think that'd be really cool, but like I said, this is the Mark III. There's no reason I can't update it in the future. Who knows? But until then, my next video is definitely going to be about attaching a motherboard. So thanks so much for sticking around the containment unit. I hope you have a really good day. I don't know. Oh, I'm trying to learn cards. So maybe, hey, watch this video. I'm trying to put cards in. Watch this video. Something.